Hey y'all, it's your friend Dee, and today we're going to be making two items to go into the dollhouse. We'll make a mirror and a lantern. Let's get into it. So we're going to make our mirror first, and I'm just using paperboard. This is just an old cereal box, and you can freehand whatever shape you want your mirror to be. I'm not going to freehand mine. I went ahead and drew out a template on some grid paper, and so this is basically what I came up with. And so I drew out the shape, and then I went and cut out the middle portion of it. So I'm going to go ahead and start tracing around my template, and that'll give me the very back of the mirror. So I'll be back once I've done that. So I have my template traced. So this first one here is just going to be the back of our mirror. So I didn't need to trace the inside of the template. This one is going to create the frame of the mirror. So both of these, I'll cut out several. And I'm thinking I may even cut out a third that's a little bit thinner than this. So if I do that, I'll let you guys know. So I have my two pieces cut out. This first piece is the back, and the second piece is the frame. So your glass or shiny paper, whatever you're going to use, will be sandwiched in between these. I've decided to go with just one of the first piece, and then the second piece, I'm going to cut out multiple of these to help thicken up the frame. And I also decided that I want to go with a thinner piece around. So I'm going to take one of these and just trim it down from the outside in. So I'll be back and show you what I mean. So I have my thinner piece cut, and it's going to attach here. So as you can see, it gives just a little bit more dimension around the frame. And when we put all of these together, it will look like this. And of course, you would have your mirror or shiny paper, whatever you're going to use in the middle here. And you can leave it like this, but to me, that's just a little bit thin, and I think it'll be too flimsy. So I'm going to stack about 3 of these pieces together, maybe 4, and the same for this, just to build it up some. And then we'll get to painting. So guys, the whole process of me gluing these together and painting did not film. I didn't realize it wasn't recording. So I'm just going to tell you really quick what I did. So I took 3 of these pieces and glued them together. So it made it just a little bit thicker. And I did weigh them down when I was letting the glue dry. That way it didn't bend and everything stayed pretty straight. And I did the same to this piece. So I only used 2 pieces for this one. And the bottom one, I'm going to leave just one piece for the back. Now I did start to paint these gold because in the end, that's going to be the color I want. But I didn't like the way the gold paint was looking on the cardboard alone. So I went back over with one coat of black paint. And now I'm going to go over it with the gold paint, and I think it'll just look a lot better. So I have everything painted. Now the bottom piece or the back piece, it doesn't matter about the inside because that's going to be covered with your mirror. And here's the other 2 pieces. I prefer to paint them separately. That way I don't have to worry about any of the edges, or, you know, there's still going to be parts that I'll have to go and touch up, but to me, this feels better. You can also wait until you assemble it, but then you run the risk of getting the paint on the mirror portion. So for me, this is just easier. So for my mirror, I'm actually going to use some wrapping paper that I had. I didn't want something that gave a really good reflection because in the diorama, if I am filming, I didn't want it to pick up anything outside of the diorama. So I did a rough cut, and it's going to go in like this. And then the other pieces will lay on top. So once it's all glued down, it'll have this basic look, and everything will be fitted into place. So I'm going to get to gluing everything down, guys. So I've glued together all of the pieces of the mirror, and there are places where the glue is kind of seeping through, but I'm not too worried about it. I cleaned it up as best I can, but this glue does dry clear. Also, the reflective part, there's some bubbles here and there, but I'm hoping that as the glue dries, it'll help flatten that out. But while this dries, I'm going to place it on some wax paper and also cover it up and put some books on it, because I just want to make sure that the poster board stays flat as the glue dries. So we'll be back after this has set for a while. While the glue is drying on the mirror, let's get started on the lantern. And I'm going to use all the scraps that I had left over from the mirror. So I've already drawn my template, and I'm going to cut out 8 of these. So guys, I cut out all of my pieces. I have 4 in this stack and 4 in this stack. And to save time, I've already glued them together. So we're going to set one aside and focus on this one. So this one, as you can see, I've glued all the pieces together. And we're going to cut this in half. Now, you can cut the individual pieces in half before you glue them together, but I think you'll have a better result of everything being even if you wait until it's all glued together. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and slowly cut this in half, and I'll be back. So guys, I've cut this one in half, and the next step is to take this one, and we're going to glue these in the center, like this. So we'll put one on this side and then glue the other one on the other side. So guys, I have all the pieces glued together. So we pretty much have our lantern right now. I went and cut out about 4 squares, glued them together, smoothed them around the edges, and they're going to sit right in here. And that's where the candle will sit. So I'll get this glued into place. So guys, these are all the pieces glued together, and it's pretty much finished. At this point, if you want to add a handle or a decorative topper on it, you can, but I'm going to just leave mine as it is and just paint it, and I'll be back and show you the finished product. So here are both finished items, and I really like the way both of them came out. As far as the mirror, I love that the reflection is not very clear. That's going to be really helpful when I'm taking photographs or doing videos. And I did have to go back and add some more black paint between these layers so they could stand out a little bit more on the video. And as far as the lantern, I love the way it came out. And I put a plant in this one. So I made another lantern just using rectangles, and I think that one came out really well too. You can also do this with circles or whatever shape you want. Just make sure you leave enough space to where you can fit your candle or your plant inside of it. That's all I have for you in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.